Hey guys, good morning. Today we're going to be going into, well, sort of a nudie tutorial, but we're going to be using the Mad for Matte 2 palette right here. I think it has another name now, but when I bought this it was called Mad for Matte 2. It's got a lot of very good colors in it, so I look forward to working with that. And as like a cover for it, like to really bring out those colors and make them intense, I like the shiny kinds. So what I'm going to do is also go into an e.l.f. palette, and this one is titled California. I don't know that they sell this anymore, but I can always check if you want. So this is what the colors look like, and we're gonna just go ahead in and see what we can do. I have blushes, I have all kinds of stuff over here in front of me, so let's go ahead and get into it. I will zoom you right in because you guys know I don't just go video. I don't do that, I just get straight into it. But to let you know, we may be going into the blush nudes from Maybelline, so just be aware of that when we do it. As far as what I did beforehand, same thing I always do. I primed my face, I put on foundation, I powdered it with the e.l.f. finishing powder in shade light medium. That's what it looks like, and it has a nice little sponge right there, and that little compartment just stays nicely in there. And I did use concealer. I used the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. Very good, I love it. And before we got on here, I did use the e.l.f. Illuminating palette, and it looks a bit like this. So it's definitely a good one. It brightens up the face, just so you don't have any harsh stuff going on. Alright, so I'm gonna stop talking and running around with my mouth, and we're gonna go ahead and zoom in. Alright, so that's about as close as I want to get, because I want to make sure that at least my mouth is there too. And just pardon the bangs, they just don't want to go where they're supposed to today. So we're just gonna go into that. Alright, so now we're gonna start in on the Mad for Matte 2 palette. And from what I learned from that, you want to use your darkest shade first. Sorry, I'm looking in the viewfinder to make sure I'm in focus. You kind of want to go into the darkest shade first. I'd never thought about that or even learned about that. So I want more of a purpley tone. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take this lovely guy right here, and I'll go ahead and use a fluff brush, as I always do. So this is a ColourPop fluff brush, and as you can see, my eyelids are already primed. So actually, before we go into the dark purple, I am going to use this shade here just to make sure that we do have a good transition. So I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm going to go ahead and coat it, tap off any excess, and really get that onto the lid. I know I totally confused you by saying, oh, we're going purple first, and then like, oh crap, no we're not. So you can be just, you know, light with it if you want. You can be heavy with it if you want. See, that dang out of focus. I gotta fix that. Somehow, some way, honey, we gonna fix that. Alright, and then, so now we're gonna take that ColourPop brush and go in on this lovely gem right there. So again, pat your brush, coating it, tap off the excess, and just really work on blending it into your eyelid. There we go. Now I have other palettes that I could use to get this look, but why would I do that? So, yes, I am putting it in the crease just a little bit. I just want to make sure that I get everywhere that I need to get, which is why I'm holding my brush as close to the bristles as possible. So there's that light shade there. Well, not a light shade, but light shading. Okay, just keep going. I know this is like tedious as heck right now. I'm going in a little circular motions now to really push that in. Let me see what a finger can do, okay? So take my index, got that. There we go. My gosh. Looks like I got punched in the freaking eye. Now, it does look like I got punched in the eye. So what I'm going to do is I am going to bring in an extra palette. And I'm going to choose a Wet n Wild palette that is themed in the same way that we're going here. So this palette is called Petal Pusher, and it looks a bit like this does. Ignore my phone, it always goes off. So we're gonna go ahead and go in on this one. Sorry about that, crap happens, you just gotta roll with it. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade here. It is, well, no, I'll take this shade here because it's about as close as we're gonna get to the Mad for Matte 2, which I am going to pat into one more time. What, I threatened the brush and now it starts to work? Typical. So we're gonna just keep going. Still look like I got punched in the eyelid though. So it does look a little funky. So I am gonna go into this light shade here anyway. I can use the exact same brush and tap this on here. Tap in. Now I'm also going to apply this first shade here just to lighten things up a bit because it just looks crazy. Doesn't have a mirror, girl. Whew. It's just that kind of morning. Okay. Well, I don't know what is going on here, but we gonna make it work. So yes, I'm going into that Wet n Wild palette to fix this up just a little bit, because this needs fixing. So this is what you do. This is when things you kind of gotta roll with the punches. So I actually think that looks a lot better than it was going to. I'm also going to go ahead and now take another fluff brush, and this one is Color Pop. I'm going to go ahead and take another purple shade here. I'm going to go in to this guy right here, lightly dab that color in, and I'm going to go ahead and fluff this out a little bit and go into the brow bone at the same time. Okay, you guys are probably like, why is she going in that already? Just bear with me. It's gonna work just fine. Okay. Now, I am doing a little bit of shimmer. However, we're still going to go into that other, to the Baked Shadows palette. So I'm going to go ahead and come into this one. This is by e.l.f. And now I'm going to take this like light purpley shade. I'm going to take the same fluff brush, and I'm just going to dab all around it here to load up the brush, and just flare it out a little bit. Go back in. Okay. There is a lot of saving that you have to do sometimes with a look, but it is worth it. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Mad for Matte 2 palette, and I'm gonna go into this guy right here, little reddish orange going on, and I have a Color Pop fluff brush, tapping off that excess, whoo, and just adding that dimension of color into the crease. And that is starting to look pretty good, right? What was doomed is now somewhat salvageable. So there's this right here. Just flare this out a little bit. Definitely keep adding on. Okay, so I'm going to take that same brush and go in with this lighter orange shade. Go into here again, into that crease. Okay, move on to your other eye. Okay, so that is kind of what we're going with now. I'm going to take another fluff brush, and this is also a Color Pop fluff brush, and I'm actually going to go in to this shade right here out of the Wet n Wild palette, just to really lighten up the brow bone here, just this little area. Go in again, just brightening, just brightening. And now I'm going to go back into that Baked Elf palette right here. And I'm going to take this shade here and also apply it to the brow bone. Okay. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here and also apply this to the rest of the eye look. Same brush. And just lightly go in and shimmer that up. And then I'm going to take a bigger fluff brush. This is also a ColourPop brush. It's a fluffer. And just go along like this. Now, I'm going to end up using one of my favorite highlighters. This is the Moonlight Pearls highlighter. It's a baked highlighter from e.l.f. And I'm just rubbing that brush into the highlighter. And I'm going to go ahead and go in like this. So you're not only blending the colors together, but you're giving them a little bit of dimension with the shine. So it just kind of softens everything up a little bit. Okay. So this is what this looks like, and I will be right back with mascara done. Alright, so my mascara is done. It's still a little bit wet, but it is done. I apologize for the change in palette plans there. It was last minute. Alright, so the mascara is done. We're back to that. And I'm going to go ahead and take as my blush, which, did I not pull that out? How rude of me. So there's this one and this guy. So we have a blush brush and a highlighting brush. So I'm going to go ahead and go in on a ColourPop blush. This is a Super Shock Cheek, and it's called Fun with Friends. Now this was with when they were doing the Hello Kitty collaboration. So, I mean, hopefully, you know, even though it's not being sold under that name anymore, that a color very similar to it is released. You know, because that'll be good. So, ooh, that was a little too much blush. Oh well. Can't win, can't lose. You guys did, liked the story time video that I did. I'm gonna go ahead and be doing another one of those fairly soon. So, you can wait and watch for that one. Because I got lots of them. It was reactions at Denny's by old ladies and old people. Not to be offensive to anyone of their age. It was just one of those situations where I was like, wow, you're gonna keep staring at me because I'm not afraid to do what I gotta do and wear what I want to wear. Okay. Not my problem. Like, literally, I want to tell you right now what happened. So, we went into, and by we, I mean my brother-in-law, my sister, and their child, and myself, of course. I mean, we walk in, and I'm decked out in Nightmare Before Christmas garb, which I am totally okay with. I am obsessed with them. don't mess with me and my Nightmare Before Christmas, okay? Just don't do it. But these friggin' people are just staring at me like I must have, I don't even know what they were thinking, and I'm just like, I don't really care. But, I mean, every freaking person was like that, and I'm like, the look of disgust that I got just on what I was wearing was like, ew. And I was like, get over yourself. So I've got, you know, leggings on. You know, I don't know if they were like, you're too fat to wear leggings. Well, shove it. I don't know. But I wasn't about to be embarrassed by what I was wearing, because what I was wearing was just fine. Sexy. Cool. I wasn't showing anything, so I don't know what your friggin' deal was. But, just like, wear what you want to wear. Within reason, of course. But, you know, and then, you know, one grandparent couple, they were sitting right next to us. The friggin' grandma looks at me like I'm the nastiest thing in the world. And I'm like, in my head I'm like, well, screw you, lady. And, you know, I pray. And I was praying with my little niece, who is my brother. You know, you get the point. You know, she wanted to say grace, and I was like, okay. So I said grace with her, and we said it out loud, gosh dang it. And that woman's just looking at me like I didn't know that that look that I just gave you could get worse. But it was like, seriously? Get over yourself, woman. And we was in a Denny's. I'm like, I enjoy Denny's. I do not enjoy every old freaking lady looking at me like I'm on something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I was just like, what? You know? I'm like, you looking at me because you think I'm fat? Is that why you looking at me? You know? Like, I don't know. I just don't know. But you know what? I was gonna rock what I wore anyway, and I did. Thank you very much. And I was like, whatever. I left there and was not having any problems with it. So, there you go, old lady. I don't know your name. I don't know if you was just mad because I had more. You know, I don't know. And they were just yelling at their grandkids during, you know, in the middle of the restaurant where you can clearly hear, and I'm like, and you're looking at me because of my wardrobe? Yo, no. So, I mean, it was just, it was dumb. But, people do it all the time. And it's ridiculous, because you shouldn't be judging people based on that. You know, you need to judge them based on their merit, not what they decided to wear that day. You know, and I understand the whole thing about, oh, you know, you need to, you know, do, you know, I get that, you know, for certain people that need to have certain position, like, I get it, I do. But it's kind of like, just leave people alone. Oh, I love these. These are back to the Kylie Jimmy Jelly Flower lipsticks. I mean, I took one swipe and it looks like that. And the way that those work, if you haven't seen my videos before, is that it actually programs itself to your specific pink, so that, I mean, it'll, from what I read, it's not going to work the same way for somebody else. Like, it literally adjusts itself to you, not somebody else wearing it. I don't know how much that's actually true, but hey, I'm not going to judge it. And I'm going to go ahead in with the pink one, and it, the one that says Barbie doll powder on the bottom, okay? The pink row, here we go. And it's very light pink because this is a light pink shade. You just stick it back in this little package and off you go. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this be the look, okay? So we'll go ahead and take, I know I haven't been using setting spray, believe me, I know. I miss it a lot, keeping my makeup in place, but unfortunately it just doesn't do that. But this is the finished look, and I think you guys are gonna like it, even though we had little bumps, bruises here and there. We succeeded, so just let me know kind of what you want me to do and show you guys, and I will be happy to at least pursue it and try to do it. But for now, I wish you all the best. My usernames for my social media are going to be down below in the description box, as well as my P.O. box address. So if you decide you wanted to send me something, go right ahead. That address is down below and ready for use. Yeah, so thank you so much for all of you who've been subscribing and watching my video lately. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Ignore that peace sign, it was stupid. Alright, bye.